Rise of Robots concludes with a look at the mecha anime series The Big O, and you know what, I actually struggled on how best to describe this show until I hit upon the idea that the entire series can pretty much be summed up in its theme song. Big O, Big O, Big O. Yep, sounds a lot like the Flash Gordon theme, doesn't it? And that's just the taste of the kind of culture clash genre stew that The Big O is. The show follows Roger Smith. No, that's Robert Smith, the lead singer of The Cure. I said Roger Smith.
Look at that bulge. Best part of waking up is bulges in your cup.
Again, wrong Roger Smith. This Roger Smith is voiced by Steve Blum. Wow, didn't take me very long to come back to him, did it? Roger is basically young Bruce Wayne meets 007 with a dash of Indiana Jones. He works as a negotiator in Paradigm City, a futuristic domed environment where 40 years ago, a strange thing occurred that caused everyone to lose their memories. And I mean everything from their entire life right up until that day.
This place, Paradigm City, is a town of forgetfulness. One day, 40 years ago, every person here lost all memory of anything which had occurred before that day. But humans are adaptable creatures. They make do and go on with life. If they're smart enough to figure out how to operate machinery and get electricity, they can still have something of civilization, even without a history. People can survive without knowing what did or didn't happen in the past. And each day they try their hardest to do just that.
We also meet Dorothy, voiced by Leah Sargent. She's an android who Roger and his butler adopt after a job. Actually, the deal they have worked out is more like indentured servitude, but let's leave that creepy thing where it is. It's made very apparent that she has a strange connection both to the city and the giant robots from the city's past called Megadeuces. And you know what, maybe I'm just really immature, but I can't say the word deuce without laughing just a little bit.
This is a new double deuce. I put a lot of money and time into this.
Roger's Megadeuce is called Big O, and whenever the situation calls for it, the Big O can be summoned from the city's subway system to do battle with other giant robots as well as terrifying monsters. Yes, this show has a very giant monster movie vibe to it, or should I say kaiju vibe to it, with musical pieces and even complete shots taken directly from famous movies in the genre. Speaking of music, and the show has a very smooth jazz soundtrack to it, one that helps inform the more film noir detective aspects of the show, of which there are many.
You're not laughing. Negotiating? It wouldn't be called a ship if it could go underwater. But there's something in the sea to the south that you can't reach without diving.
The average episode of Big O goes down like this. We see Roger taking a new case, fighting some sort of villain or the Paradigm Group who seems to control the city from behind the scenes, and the whole thing usually ends up in a giant robot battle because, hey, that's what we came here for, right? To say that The Big O is a slow burn kind of show is an understatement. That summation that I already shared at the beginning was only gleaned after watching multiple episodes. Yes, this show has a real problem with not telling the viewers things, and I don't mean in a good science fiction kind of way where the viewer is given 1 and 1 and made to make 2 for themselves. Case in point, apparently androids like Dorothy just kinda live in perfect harmony with everyone else in the city. Heck, in one episode, we see that a humanoid android actually owns and operates his own piano bar. Dogs and cats are also apparently incredibly rare in this future, so much to the point people are willing to kill each other over them for some reason. The show also makes a big deal out of memories, with people like the show's Catwoman analog, Angel, voiced by Wendy Lee, doing all sorts of shady stuff to get their hands on them. But the show never actually says if these memories are something tangible or abstract, and then don't even get me started on memory implants, like the things that Dorothy has. God, it's just so confusing.
They were drawn to the bright light of memories that shone in the night sea.
They'll take away all the memories!
That light source and power. Is it something that humans are capable of making?
If you notice I'm not talking very much about the character's journey, well, that's because there really isn't much to speak of. Roger is pretty much perfect from the word go, and Dorothy, while we do get to see her struggle with her own humanity, la 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 la, it's never really as interesting as it should be. It was around the 8-episode mark that it finally hit me. The sci-fi world of the Big O is actually much more interesting than the story that's being told to us. And then there's the ending. Oh boy, the ending. I'm going to throw up the old tried and true spoiler banner right now, so if you care, by all means, just skip ahead a little bit. Okay, so The Big O had 2 seasons, right, with a big gap in between 1 and 2. The second season is where stuff really starts to go off the rails, in a show that was already kinda out there and shaky to begin with. They introduce a ton more robots, and in the final episode it's revealed that the whole entire series was just a play going on in the mind of Angel. Yeah, it's one of those endings. I'm not going to say The Big O is a bad show or decry anyone for liking it. I'm just going to say it's not the show for me. Oh, it looked nice, sounded very nice, and the robot fights were pretty well executed in places. But I think overall I had more fun playing Spot the Reference. Heck, at times, that's all I was doing in the show. I felt like it was the only thing that kept me watching. And really, at the end of the day, when the best thing I can say about a show is that it reminded me of other better shows and movies, that's really not the kind of quote they're going to put on the box now, is it? And so ends Rise of Robots. Until next time, I was late to this jazzy, giant robot party, and honestly, I was kind of hoping for more. But still, thanks for watching.
ありがとうミスターロボットいつも知りたい